gonna hit record and you can go.
You good? Mm-hmm. All right, so yesterday I went down to Pollocksville Baptist Church to meet the pastor. Her name is Sharon Bender. She's been pastor there for all of about 6 months, or a little over 6 months. She became pastor there 2 months before the hurricane went through this area. So she was just getting used to pastoring the church, and the hurricane went through, so the majority of her time is spent right now trying to rebuild the community. The community was completely underwater. The floodwaters came right below this sign. It didn't get into the church, but it completely flooded the church basement. And I didn't take any pictures of the basement, but in the pastor's parsonage, they've had to gut all of it because water came up to about 2 feet inside this house. So the whole undercrawl space was gutted. There was
the floors out as well, everything.
To get the floors out. The house was occupied by a missionary on furlough that was sponsored by the church, but the missionary had to go, actually went back to the place where he was doing missionary work. And so now the house is just empty. It's vacant. They can't do anything with it. Her vision for this house would be to house families that they will soon be working on their houses. They can come and live there and stay there while their house is being renovated. Contractors are hard to get a hold of down there. They can't find any, even if we were to send them money tomorrow, they can't really fix their house because it's a year and a half before anybody can even walk in to these houses. And the prices are getting outrageously expensive. Case in point, like the HVAC system to put in this house that was destroyed, $25,000. And you and I both know we can get an HVAC system, a brand new system here for about $8 or $9 grand installed. So it's just this one thing after another. Here's more pictures of when they gutted it. So what she wants to do is put this house back together. She doesn't have the money or the resources because the church is about 30 to 40 senior citizens. I didn't take any pictures, I should have, of inside the church, but when she first walked in, there was no nursery, there was no youth group, so she says, we got to prepare for these. So now the nursery is fully stocked with toys and books and videos, and the youth room has curriculum, and she says, God will bring them, but we got to be prepared for when they come here. So the house, what she's asking us to do is, there's the outside. What she's asking us to do is rebuild the house. So my plan would be to go down there with a team of volunteers and literally see this house the way it is on the inside, just totally get it where it's livable. We got to do electrical work, we got to do HVAC, we got to do drywall, flooring, trim, paint, and at least get it where if 1 or 2 rooms are done, then she can bring other missions teams in to finish the house. But if we do the basics, like get the electrical up, get the HVAC, get power, get water, get utilities, and get 1 or 2 rooms drywalled, then she can actually get the rest of the house finished. It's a small little task, but look, generally what things will cost. So washer and dryer would be $800. Kitchen appliances about $2,500. Cabinets about $2 grand. Flooring about $4,000. Drywall and paint $2 grand. Trim and doors $1,500. Heat and AC $8,000. So if someone writes a check for $25,000, we can get started tomorrow. But my goal really isn't to take the money as much as take the money and the people who all wants to go down and help rebuild this thing. Virginia Baptist Organization is actually camping at this church for the next year, starting end of January through the whole year. They're going to rebuild the community. How will she good question. The purpose of the house would be to house, her vision is to house people in that community can live there while their house is being worked on for Virginia Baptist. Virginia Baptist really isn't doing anything with the house at all. They're making that a part of the church problem. They're there to rebuild the community. So she wants to basically open up the doors, and they're using the church as the facility to sleep in while they doing habitat work. So that's the project. That's a project that we need to get started. I'm going to go down, and I've already got 2 people committed, $1,000 a piece. I already got $2 grand of it ready to go. Now it's just a matter of getting the people who wants to go. And I told her, I said, even if we just do the electrical, you're happy? She said, hey, anything that you guys can provide would be awesome. So that's my plan, that's my purpose, and I'm going to end it with this story. A number of years back, a young and very successful executive was traveling down a suburban street in his brand new black Jaguar. Suddenly, a brick was thrown from the sidewalk, thumping into the side of the car. Brakes slammed, gears ground into reverse, and the tires madly spun the Jaguar back to the spot from where the brick had been thrown. The driver jumped out, grabbed the kid who had thrown the brick, and pushed him up against the parked car. "What was that all about?" he screamed. "That's my new Jaguar. The brick you threw is going to cost you a lot of money. Please, mister, please. I'm sorry, I didn't know what else to do," pleaded the youngster. "I threw the brick because no one else would stop." Tears were dripping down the boy's chin as he pointed around to the parked car. "It's my brother, mister," he said. He rolled off the curb and fell out. His brother had fell out the wheelchair, and I can't lift him up. Sobbing, the boy asked the executive, "Would you please help me get him back into his wheelchair? He's hurt and he's too heavy for me." The mood was transformed into a moment as the young executive realized what had occurred. He lifted up the young man from the wheelchair, took out his handkerchief and wiped and scraped off his cuts. Then he watched as the younger brother pushed him down towards the sidewalk and towards their home. The young executive never did fix the dent in the side door of his Jaguar. He kept the dent to remind him not to go through life so fast that someone has to throw a brick at him to get his attention. So if we can do the little bit and help this church out, I think it can just make an impact on that community. The end.